goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think it's all angels just walk by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
Here to show you an update. Trying to figure out what color to paint his house. You should have had a pre-build where you see kind of a speed run, I guess. So we have the blacksmith, his little area, his work area, and then his shop area. This sign is being covered now by the tree, but when it gets taller, you'll be able to see it. So, or I'll cut it down and put something else there. All of his wares are stored in here and then locked up for the night. Oh, let me start so you can kind of see. if I can get to it. Ah, there's a brazier in there that I've been successful at. There we go. Been able to light before. I was like, what is going on? On hindsight, after I built it, oh, I forgot I had these pigments down here. Oh, that's why they're down there. No room. Okay. In hindsight, I probably should have built this underneath here. I only know pictures of blacksmiths and kind of like what they do. I think they heat up the metal in here and then they come over here and pound on it, right? And then they put it in here and it cools it down. Salting or something? I don't know. And then they put it in this bucket with something else. That's all I know, right? So the bellows is supposed to help the fire, right? And the anvil is what they beat on. I probably should put this anvil over here or here. I'm not sure. All right, so I don't quite get their blacksmith. Like, I mean, I get it. It has the pieces, but I don't know. Maybe I should have put it underneath here, but it just seemed like it didn't belong there either. So I just kind of made it match. And then afterwards I was like, oh no, the smelter. I mean, I know that it's two different roles, but I wanted it nearer. But I don't like the way they look. They look like, I don't know, they look like they belong in a potterer place to me than a kiln, or they look like kilns to me, but smaller kilns. So I just put, I'm sure they look accurate. I just not used to these kind of, technical things. So I just put it in a blocky thing so you couldn't see it. All right, so shop, work area. I might cover this, but I kind of like it being open and not enclosed. But until I put this over the top, it was putting the fire out, so you couldn't, if it was raining, you couldn't work on it. I'm working on, this looks better. I think I saw this, saw somebody else do this or something similar. Oh, look, some leftover resin. Room. So I've done this before, but I'm trying to make it look like a walkway. Originally I was going to have it walkway up to his house, but then it was like right by my stables, and I still need to landscape all that. God, it looks awful. But then I was like, oh, well, that's too close. I'm going to put in some trees back here so that when you're at the blacksmith, you can't really see that they're like right on top of each other. All right, so I built this warehouse area, and unlike the warehouse I have, it gets really crowded, so I made it taller. I'll probably still fill it to the brim of storage units. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to put in here yet. The bamboos seem to work the best, but I just really hate the way they look. But they do seem to work better. But the storage is going to be kind of open. It's going to be mainly stuff that overflows from the dock. And then here's his little house. I'm experimenting with, because it is stone, I'm experimenting with some multi-layer, like this front part is going to have a separate little pointy roof, and this part, not quite a Tudor look, but I guess it's a Cape Cod look, maybe. Not sure, but it's just going to have a better looking face than these do in terms of like just being all square and stuff, hopefully. It's not going to be a huge house, but probably multi-layered. Yeah, because I'm going pretty tall here. So just a normal living area at the bottom that he can come to his, I'm going to have a door over here so he can come out and go to his little workshop area. And then it'll probably be about this tall. I want it taller than his workshop area just so visually it makes sense. And I just thought of this, but I was going to give him a patio, but I might extend it so that the patio could work here as a dual purpose. Just put like, that might look funky. I don't know. Because I like the clean lines of the blacksmith back here. It looks very, I don't know. If I was a blacksmith, I would want things pretty organized and structurally, I don't know, just clean lined. And so I kind of like that. So I'm probably, and there's going to be a bunch of trees back there to kind of hide my stuff. So it might get a little cluttered if I do that. I'll have to think about it. But one thing that I did, I like but don't like, I like it but I don't like it, is this dock, like the edge. I like that part right here, right? Um, I kind of like these lampposts, but they feel a little blocky. But I didn't like the logs. And I think most of the stuff that I've seen so far are logs. So it was either that or that, so I went with that. But I liked this part, and then I was trying to build this recessed area that I've seen in photos where there's like a walkway next to the dock, and then staircases up to whatever it is, right? Little storage areas tucked away. Usually they have an arch, but the arches that I was building seemed very, I don't know, like too Lego-like, I guess. Didn't like them. So I'm just going to build randomly little, tucked corners of storage, and then I'm not going to cover the whole docks with storage either. I'm just kind of, here and there. And then I planted some, well, not some, a lot of plants here, just so I could give the, get the tropical look back to the area. I may have to prune it, and like I said, I may have to take that tree out, but I think it's going to get taller and it shouldn't be a problem. And this tree, sadly, will probably have to go. Excuse me. But I'm going to go around this way. I kind of like the idea of the armor next to the blacksmith because they seem to complement each other. So, and I may actually, so I don't have to build like 400 houses, I may actually make them an extension of that. So we'll have to see. But, and then after that, I thought I would work on some of the ones that are way in the back, like the farm and stuff like that. But we'll see how we do as we go. Right now, the first thing that I'm going to do today is work on figuring out what color to paint the house. I tried to paint it white because I wanted it to be like a really white next to these other, varying grays and almost black hues, but it won't give me white on stone. It gives me the same color as this light gray, which is weird because this was painted as a light gray on purpose and this was painted white and they're almost the same color. So I've got to find a color for the house. I don't want it to be too brilliant, like bright like these, because it's, it's a blacksmith and it's next to the gray. So I'm kind of leaning towards this color because it gives it color, but it's a low saturated version of a red. So I'm going to experiment with that and see what I think. And once I get the blacksmith house built and furnished out, I will update that. And then maybe we'll do some stuff on the fisherman's hut. Maybe. We'll have to see how we feel. But I like it. I like how it's coming together. It's starting to definitely feel more like than just my house, right? It feels more like there's a community here. There's multiple buildings that clearly are functioning differently. Well, I mean, we know they're functioning differently, right? And they don't look like just one person lives here. I really wish I was on a multiplayer server, but this wouldn't be happening if I was. Probably it would be crashing with all the buildings, and reset multiple times. I hope that gets resolved. I hope that's not going to be uh, like a ongoing problem. I'm not implying that it will be. I'm just saying, like, I'm hoping multiplayer servers are going to be built for longevity, not necessarily just for PvP purposes or whatever. I think PvP would be interesting in this game, but at the same time, kind of strange. Like, I wouldn't build out all this unless I was in an actual real community, right, on a multiplayer server, because your bubble only goes so far. I would probably build a much smaller house, and I do have a lot of weaponry. Oh, look, the tree grew while we were standing here. Oh my god. Yeah, I was right. So you can see the blacksmith sign better because the tree is like much taller in like 2 seconds. Okay. Um. What was I saying? Oh, on a multiplayer server, I would be a lot more defensive. Um, when I play PvP, I prefer to be the healer or the paladin, or I go from a defensive stance. I mean, I will do offense, don't get me wrong, but I prefer to be that role. So I would definitely hole up in a corner, right? I would build defenses all around my crap. It would not be like all open like it is now, right? Like, come on in, take whatever you want. No, it would not be like that. It would be defensive and armed to the T. It would be like, oh, come at me. You want to? I've got some grenades for you. Things like that. So, I would definitely build differently on a PvP server than I would be, and I would build differently in a community center. Because this is all about, oh, I'm gonna make a blacksmith today. Boom. Community center would be more like, or community server would be more like, well, what do we need? What are we working on? Kind of thing. So anyway, enough rambling. I'm gonna get to work, get this house done, and then kind of evaluate whether or not I want to work on the fisherman's hut area over here. I actually probably would like it better if it looks more like a hut. Maybe that was where I was kind of subconsciously going for. I don't think there's a grass roof. I think the closest you get is a hay thing, but I don't even think it has roof tiles. Let's see. I thought there were some hay building pieces. Let's go look under here. Yeah. Oh, straw. Straw. Doesn't look like straw though. It looks like a yellow block. Mm. Yeah, that's not attractive. I mean, that implies hay because of the block and the little stripy thing, but hay should have more of a texture to it. Even these have more texture than the hay does, or the straw. You could just paint this yellow and have the same effect almost. I have to think about that because I know it's kind of weird to think like this, but economically, the fisherman, well, I guess it depends on where you're at, but I would think that he would be in a much smaller, not a hovel, but like I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking overthinking stuff too much. Like, you're taking your role playing too far. The fisherman doesn't have to be poor. Like, that's just silly. Maybe, I don't know. But it just seems like he should be in something a little bit more rougher than the tailor shop, right? And this doesn't do it for me. It just looks unfinished, but it looks, I don't know, it's too blocky or something. Watch, I'm gonna go in here. Well, if I redo this house, I will not like be hitting it with my mace. I will probably go into the editor and take it down and then rebuild it in the Explorer. Maybe I'll make his hut like smaller. Maybe that will help. Because right now it just looks like he's living in a medium size, like I hate to say it because I live in one, but like a suburban house, right? And that was not what I wanted. I wanted it to look like a fish shack kind of thing. So, but yeah, if I do like heavily modify this to to appease that feeling in me for some reason, it will be in the editor. I'm not. I'm not hitting that over and over and over again. Even though it is bamboo, I'm just not doing it. So I'll have to think about that. Because if I cut it back to like, even from here up, I think it would look more like what I wanted. And you would have more dock area. But then I would just be filling it with fish. Sorry, I'm rambling, thinking aloud. If you get to this video before I do anything, which is very likely because this hut is like, I'm not all that excited about working on it versus the other ones. Leave a comment and let me know what you think in terms of like what I should do with it. Maybe I'll just leave it until I see some stuff from people and go, do this, do that, and then I'll evaluate that as well. So anyway, yeah, leave a comment and let me know what you think I ought to do to fix this, other than painting it, you know, fix that area so it looks more like, because I think the tailor shop was a win. I really do. The restaurant was, it's okay. Like, it's alright. It matches. It works for me, right? It's not that big of a deal. But the tailor shop, I really love. I just love this area. I'm bad about closing doors. Oh well. The blacksmith, I like it. I think it works. It looks appropriate. The house, I think, will be fine. So, though, I think those are wins, right? Fisherman's hut, not so much. So, yeah, let me know what you think, and I will update you as soon as I get the house done and some more progress. Bye-bye. this is another update. Let's see, you should have already seen the blacksmith. We're going to do a little tour of it again. I've added the, probably since the last update, I've added the fuel refinery. I think that's what it's called. Foundry. Fuel refinery. No, that's the Ylandium refinery. But this is the foundry. I thought it would complement this, so I built out just a little corner for it. And at one point, I commented on the fact that I hated that I could see like it was in my backyard or whatever, but I have placed so many trees over there now that not an issue anymore. So here's the blacksmith area again, which I like a lot. And then here is our 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 ultra safe proof locksmith area where we've got bank safes and these I built a little wind turbine out here to power this, but it's just a little role playing. You know, we want to keep the guns safe from everybody. So the locksmith is here, and then the only way that you can open it is from inside the blacksmith's house. So he determines who can go in and out right there. Okay, so that part is done, and the blacksmith's house is done for the most part. There's little knickknacks that I'll add later, but right now it's got furniture in it. It's been painted, and so the kitchenette area over here, little seating area. He likes guns. Upstairs, just so, oh, we have a goof. Huh, we'll have to fix that. Just little, normal bed area. I'm not real sure what to put right here. I need paintings. I'm kind of low on paintings. Double doors to a little patio thing, and then I added this down here. I wish we had rope that looked like string, but this is like his area where he's drying his clothes. Not as effective as I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. Okay. So he does the blacksmith for the town, right? But his passion is actually an armory. He loves guns and all that stuff. So this is mainly glass, so people can walk by and go, "Oh, look, we need to go get that." And in my head, he's, his armor is so wonderful and beautiful and sought after that people will come to our island just for it. See, we've got our guarding armor, which I don't even have a set for, by the way, for this tune, but it's setting in the armory. Interesting, yeah. Some guns, just some little display things, and banners, and then look, he's ultra concerned about security. He's got a little camera. He's watching you. And Viking helmets. The pegs. That actually is a white fence part, like the corner that I've added over there. And if I go back into here, this was an iron rail that I made at some point trying to boost tech. I was just making random stuff to try to get things to pop. And so I had the umbrella and the captain's hat on it. And I thought that was cute looking little thing. And we have a parks and recreation project where we are building trees because there's so much cement on the dock. Well, stone rather. So we're planting trees and then protecting them with our little barriers or whatever. So yeah, I like it. I like the little the blacksmith compound or whatever. I think it's really cute. The stone was a lot easier to work with than the wood, I think, for me anyway, and it's a lot easier definitely to grind to get the stone itself. You just take your power drill up to the mountain and pound away on it. So it's a lot, a lot easier for me to harvest. But I really enjoyed this area. I've been building a lot though, so I probably will do a few episodes of one of the things that I would like to do. There's quite a few compositions, and it's being added to almost daily on Y. I know it's pronounced Ylands for the game, but it's ylands.net. Um, and what I'd like to do is create like just a new map, not to play on, but to bring into the editor and go into some of the place some of them, some of the compositions and buildings. There's some pretty neat looking homes that I'd like to look at. Um, Place them in the map and then enter that map and take a look at their building techniques. Get some tips from the stuff that's that they've created, um, and just enjoy it. Look at their creations, their art, and have some fun with that. So probably next week I will probably do a video of that so we can see some of the compositions. But other than the fish shack, which I dismantled, I went into the editor for this because I was not pounding all that out. I was not just whacking it. That would drive me nuts. So I went in and took all of the bamboo and all that stuff out because it was all the way out here. I did repurpose the railing. I moved the railing around, so I didn't re-harvest that, but I just moved it in the editor. But I took down like almost half of this shack or the shop area or whatever. And I have a model that I found online that is very similar to what I was kind of thinking. It has like a slope roof, like half of a roof kind of thing. It looks kind of neat. So I'm thinking I'm going to build that out, but it's not going to be for a little bit. I kind of need a break. This has been a lot of building in like a 3-day span or whatever. So if I get on the game, it'll probably be to explore maybe a little bit, or just tinker and perfect things like that. But I probably won't do any big building projects for a minute here. And like I said, I'd like to do that composition thing where we look at, what other people are doing and look at them in game. But let me know what you think of this. I like it. I think it matches. It works. It feels like it belongs together. This little housing. He lives here and then he works here, and his true passion, the armory. It's kind of sparse in there, but I kind of wanted it to be. I kind of wanted it to be that way, very showcasey. These are these specialty items that you can get from him, but it's not as, I don't know. The tailor shop feels totally different, right? Than this shop. So it's still displaying items very similarly, but it definitely has a more, I don't know, homey, warm feel in here than in the, yeah, I think so. The coloring and the items and just how things are placed, So I think it matches. I think it works. So anyway, that's it for that update. This will be the Armory, Blacksmith, and the Blacksmith's House update. And we will start on the Fisherman's Hut in a little bit, and we'll do another episode for that. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.